Hi, welcome to Camp Interview. My name is Eunmigo. I am pianist and president of the Contemporary Art Music Project. And it's great to have Indigo and AJ here with me. And I think we'll all introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Indigo Connect. I am currently the assistant director for camp and campground, and I am super happy to meet some new composers today.
Hi everyone, I'm AJ Francisco. I'm a Filipino-American composer currently based in New York City. I'm pursuing a master's in music theory and composition at New York University, and I'm expected to graduate in the spring of 2026. So happy to be here.
Awesome.
Cool. So AJ is one of our winners for the special house installation project, A Little House Music, that selected composers will collaborate with Anthony Green and camp musicians during the Campground 26 festival. So yeah, welcome, and I'm very excited to work with you and also get to know you as a person. And we usually start this with kind of talking about your past and how you started music and how you got into music composition and what made you um, current you right now. So yeah, if you can share that a little bit, your past with us, that would be great.
Yeah, so I started composing, well, I first started arranging. That was the kind of the gateway to composing. I was arranging like film music and like TV show music for my friends back in high school and downloading MuseScore and just like figuring out like, how things work and like just like notation stuff in general and like just the opportunity to like create music and that kind of made me think like, oh, like writing music, like that seems like an interesting thing. Like I would love to like write my own stuff rather than just arrange things for my friends. And I was very thankful that my high school orchestra director, Frank Garcia, he was very he encouraged me so much um to just start composing. He gave me the incredible opportunity to like write music for our high school orchestra, and that's a very uncommon thing for a lot of composers in their early careers. So I'm very thankful for that. And his opportunities that he gave me, he um that definitely pushed me to become a composer and a composition student when I started my undergrad at Old Dominion University. Um, I unfortunately had to go through the last 2 or so years of my undergrad during COVID, so that was not very fun to do. But thankfully, with the encouragement from a lot of friends and stuff and all of that, that pushed me to continue music studies through COVID and pursue a master's degree in New York University. I never thought I would be here in New York City, composing, meeting all sorts of amazing people, but it's been truly amazing. Great opportunity.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's crazy that how we survived those era and continue doing this after that. Yeah. Well, you came from this Filipino background. You and did you have any musicians in your family? How was it like growing up there and this transition to you being in US?
Yeah, so actually I immigrated here with my mom when I was 3 years old, so I actually don't remember anything about the Philippines. So unfortunately, like the only things that I can like recall from when I was so young in the Philippines is like pictures and stories from my mom and like family members here in the US. In fact, most of my family members are still in the Philippines. So it has been, especially growing up, it's been quite tough to like learn about like my Filipino heritage and all that. I've been trying to make up for it like the last few years, um, especially this year, learning more about Filipino history and culture and embracing that. A lot of my music recently has been about exploring and learning about Filipino heritage. So a lot of the premises of my music are about certain experiences or folklore from the Philippines. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember the piece that Hop uh, played during
Mhm.
the summer at the Iceberg New Music also. And we are excited about your project because actually because of that reason that you had this idea about identity and culture. And I've always thought that, you go to somebody's house, you can tell a lot of different things. I mean, there's culture that you see, there's some kind of ritual that individual goes through. You can actually tell a lot of different things from one's house. And Anthony especially was very excited about your proposal in that regard, and me too, and Indigo too, actually. We're all- Um, so yeah, tell us about it more and your proposal and just your thoughts on the relationship between this culture and the music.
Yeah, so the proposal that I submitted for Campground's house installation, it's a very personal one. It's basically the premise is about um, um, kind of toxic family dynamics growing up. Um, oh man, it's a bit of a hard subject to talk about. But um, I the house installation really caught my eye for this specific premise. I always kind of wanted to talk about um kind of toxic fi family dynamics growing up and how that kind of influences who we are once we become adults. I always kind of wanted to write something about that, but I thought this house installation, this was a perfect way to kind of encapsulate this experience and make it as authentic as possible to the experience. So I was very excited to see that this opportunity was a thing, and even more so excited that the my proposal was picked. Um, but yeah, so the how I'm kind of envisioning this piece for a camp is that it is in this kind of hypothetical scenario where you, the audience, is this person living in a home where they perhaps don't feel 100% able to be themselves or like um, act themselves. Um, so I really wanted to key into that experience by using a lot of use embracing a lot more electronics and found sounds. I've been actually um, reaching out to a lot of my friends to record um, lines that I have written down for them that are common phrases that me and quite a lot of friends that do also relate to toxic family households. These lines that are common and that they have experienced hearing to them themselves. I've had people record lines and send them to me, and I plan to incorporate them into this piece. Um, Using a lot more electronics for this. This is kind of a first for me, but I'm very excited to utilize not only my kind of like my background in concert music, but also my like just the memories, the voices, just in general using um my friends to make this piece happen because I feel like a lot of us we unfortunately relate to this specific subject, and I feel like being able to talk about it with each other in general has really helped kind of, just understand the situation and move on as a stronger person.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I hear you because I think there's definitely this memory and also the memory of certain sound that traumatize you um, through some years, and that's still. I mean, I feel like it's still in me, and it's still in there. It's not something that you can't completely remove from yourself.
Mhm.
So house, I think it's the same thing. The house holds the memory, and
Mhm.
um, so yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, I think it's gonna be really meaningful. It will speak to a lot of people. I can kind of see that. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Yay.
Yeah, this was especially what captured me about your proposal, and I think it'll be just such a meaningful experience for everyone at Campground to hear and just give voice to to anyone who's been through this kind of situation and that they're not alone in
Mhm.
this. Whether
Absolutely.
it was past or current, um, and I think it'll be a very emotional, moving experience, and I I agree that Anthony's also just very much excited for this project.
I'm glad. Yay.
But that being said, yeah, not just we don't want to just hear about the proposal as well, but what are you doing currently? Especially as a master student at NYU, that's a huge deal for sure. And you're in such a creative environment as well. Can you tell us a bit about what you've been working on as of recently?
Yeah, so this year I've been working as president of NYU's Graduate Composers Collective, Never Mind the Noise. It's been incredibly rewarding to be able to head this collective. We actually have we actually do have a concert coming up. It'll be on Sunday, November 23rd. It will feature new chamber works from the collective. Um, including a piece for me. It's called Utensils. I actually wrote this piece with Sean McCarthy Grant during Iceberg Institute of this year. I unfortunately do not have a recording yet of it, so I cannot share it today, but it will be live streamed during the day of the concert. So if you guys want to catch a live stream, we will post it on our Instagram at NVM The Noise. But basically, that piece is a solo snare drum etude. Um, and it's called Utensils because instead of the drummer using traditional drumsticks, it uses wooden knives, forks, and spoons, and a tablecloth. So it'll be a very fun piece. Um, and we have a lot of concerts coming up through the collective, so keep an eye out with that. But for me personally, I've been so busy writing since the start of the semester. It's a good kind of busy, but very busy. I actually recently finished a percussion ensemble piece for NYU's percussion ensemble Call for Scores, and I'd love to share that. Let me briefly about the piece. So the percussion ensemble piece is called Tinikling, for eight percussionists. And Tinikling is a traditional dance from the Philippines, which uses two performers hold two long bamboo rods, and together they tap the poles and click them together in a 3/4 meter, while one or more dancers dance in between the poles and stuff. I remember learning this dance back home in Virginia at the Filipino-American Culture Center, and it was really fun, but also very painful because you can imagine if you're dancing in between the poles, you can easily get if you don't know what you're doing, your feet can get caught in between the poles, and it can be very painful. But it's a really fun dance, and I thought it would be very interesting to bring this dance into in a concert music setting. So in this percussion piece, I have two percussionists also using bamboo poles. Thankfully, NYU has 6-foot bamboo poles to use for this, so great opportunity. And I have another percussionist doing the dance, while the rest of the ensemble accompanies them on marimbas and drum set. So it'll be a very fun piece. I hope it gets picked for the call for scores because I am it has been a really exciting project to work on.
They'll definitely keep us in the loop. We would love to hear this piece once it comes to life.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially. Did you actually meet Umi at Iceberg
I
then?
did. I did. We
Oh,
didn't talk as much. Because I wasn't assigned to compose for camp. I was assigned to compose for Hub New Music. But that's actually where when camp gave a seminar during Iceberg, I believe they mentioned a little bit about their Campground 26 festival, and I believe that's also when they talked about the house installation. So that's when like the gears started turning for this piece. So I'm very glad that Eunmi and Camp were there to discuss it.
that's awesome. So, what did you write for Hub? Do you mind telling us a little bit about the piece?
Yeah, so the piece, which is loading right now. The piece is called Mahal Kita. The instrumentation is flute, bass clarinet, violin, and cello. And the piece basically talks about the struggles of learning Tagalog or basically any language when you're an adult, especially. And in the piece, I have the players while they're in between playing, they're speaking common Tagalog words that you would normally learn when you're first learning the language. And as they're speaking it, they also mimic the rhythms and the cadences of the words through their instruments. So it's really I thought it was a really cool piece to compose. And a very interesting challenge to have to figure out the practicalities of having the instrumentalists not only play but also speak in certain times when they're playing.
Yeah, because it was workshopped with,
Hmm.
yeah, with Hub. So
Yeah, luckily with Iceberg, they gave us a lot of time to work with the ensembles. So I was able to talk with Hub and figure out what didn't work, what did work with them speaking the language. We also refined the reference materials that I had in the performance notes. So um, they, as well as future performers, could accurately speak the words without, me potentially being there for the rehearsals. So that was a really good opportunity to refine this kind of piece idea.
That that sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Let's take a moment just to watch and listen to this piece.
Mahal, Mahal,
Mahal,
Mahal.
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 Mahal. Kita.
Mahal.
Kita.
Mahal. Mahal. Kita.
Mahal.
Kita.
Mahal. Kita.
Mahal.
Mahal. Kita. Kita. Mahal. Kita. 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 Mahal. Kita. Mahal. Kita.
Dalawa.
Isa.
Isa.
Tato.
Dalawa.
Isa.
Dalawa.
Isa.
Isa. Isa.
Dalawa.
Tato. Dalawa.
Dalawa.
Dalawa. Matanda. Dalawa. Kita. Kita. Dalawa. Maganda. Maganda. Isa. Dalawa. Tato. Mahal. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. Isa. Tato. Isa.
Yeah. So you've done so many You've talked about so many fantastic projects. We're super excited to hear more about the percussion ensemble piece once it's premiered and of course see and experience your installation. You're graduating this spring, aren't you?
I
So
am.
I know this is always kind of a scary question to ask. Trust me, I've been there before. But what do you think's next for you? Future projects, grad schools? What
Yeah,
directions do you see yourself going in the future?
yeah. So initially I wanted to apply for PhD applications this fall. Um a lot of the classes and professors at NYU have encouraged me to um, pursue ethnomusicology for my PhD because of very extensive research through for indigenous Filipino music and how that can be incorporated into contemporary music today. That's been a big special interest of mine in the last year. So I really wanted to have my PhD um, revolve around this Filipino identity in contemporary music. I did decide to um, halt on PhD applications for this year. I will eventually love to apply for some programs in the future, but I decided to just take a year or so to just compose because I feel like I'm beginning to find my voice as a composer and I've been very thankful to have a lot of opportunities come up to where I can compose and collaborate with ensembles like camp and quite a few friends and other ensembles have approached me as well for some projects. So I've decided to just see where composition takes me in the next year, especially in New York City. Um, I know it'll be a little scary to not be in school and kind of just being on my own. But I know it's going to be really fulfilling with all of these projects I have in store.
That's awesome. Can you give us any like hints or like previews on what kind of projects these might entail during your compositional year, to say the least?
Yeah, for sure. I am working with this project is very much still in the planning stages, so I don't no notes are on the page yet, but it'll happen. This project, I'm collaborating with a librettist, Hannah Odsanada, and this Boston-based Filipino vocal duo called Duo Filipino, who specialize in kundiman and other Filipino art songs. I'm collaborating with them on a new art song that takes a spin on this um, Filipino myth about how the first humans were created. I'm not sure if you do. Would you like me to kind of go through the myth and
That
like
would
the
be
premise of
awesome.
the piece?
Yeah.
Okay. So the creation myth that this piece will be about is called Malakas and Maganda, and basically the gods created like the ocean and the mountains and the islands and the animals and stuff, but they did not create humans yet. So there's this bird that is enjoying the islands and the sea that has been created, but the bird gets tired, so he rests on a bamboo pole. But then he hears some like knocking or something in the bamboo, and and he's like, "What in the world is that trying to disrupt my beauty sleep?" So he like he pecks at the bamboo pole to hopefully get the sound to stop. But it just keeps knocking back. So he gets so irritated that he pecks even harder at the bamboo to the point where the bamboo explodes. And inside it appears Malakas and Maganda, the first man and the first woman. So this piece is will be about this myth. And when I was talking to Hannah about the premise of the piece, we met in the middle of the summer to kind of workshop what we're gonna do about this art song. And I said, well, um, the duo, they're soprano and baritone. So kind of makes sense, to have the vocalist be the man and the woman, Malika Simaganda. But Hannah was very brilliant, and she was like, okay, but how about instead of that, they are actually maybe they're acting as birds or animals that have witnessed this event, and they're gossiping about it to the audience, which I thought was very clever and very interesting. And we have in mind for this art song, rather than to have it just, just two vocalists and a piano on stage, we wanted it to we wanted to elevate the experience and have it more staged and more choreographed. So our idea at the moment is to have the the stage completely dark except for perhaps a spotlight on the accompanist. We're thinking about having actually a marimba player or a percussionist in general rather than the traditional piano player for this
Yeah.
piece. And the vocalists will wear blacklight reactive like outfits and face paint and gloves so that it could be more stylized and we could imagine further that they are birds. And then with their hands, with the gloves, use, they're going to have their hands more so like in kind of like a bird kind of gesture like this. And everything is going to be stylized to kind of get this like bird motif.
That sounds incredible. I'm so excited. Please share with us as this progresses, and especially when the duo premieres it. This
Oh, of
sounds
course.
incredible.
Yes, I'm so excited. I will definitely keep you all in touch.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be premiered in Boston since they're or New York.
We have yet to talk about those details, but I'm a little positive it will be in Boston.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Anything else, Indigo? Any?
Um, I I'm trying to think. What else can we talk about? I feel you've described so many cool projects and so many cool directions that you want to go in. I'm like, huh. Do you have any questions you wanted to ask? Um,
Uh, I sorry, I didn't have questions in
oh, sorry, I
mind.
was talking to Eunmi.
Oh, sorry.
My apologies.
Why would I?
Um,
Well, I mean, it's all you're using all different media and different instrumentations, ensembles.
mhm,
But I can see that there is this common thread
mhm,
of kind of exploring the identity and the culture and really kind of digging into that. So I think that's very neat, and that's also what I kind of was doing with my own project. So yeah, it's really cool to see. Yeah, do you want to talk about it, or just kind of this your philosophy of creative works, because that's
Mhm.
what I see.
mhm,
Yeah. So, um, the premise of the general premise of incorporating more like talking about Filipino experiences and kind of utilizing compositional elements from indigenous Filipino music into my own music that really stemmed from my research in this composer for this contemporary music class that I took last year. This composer's name is Jose Maceda, and he's titled the first avant-garde composer of the Philippines, and he was also an ethnomusicologist. And a lot of his research and a lot of his compositions kind of revolved around the premise of um, how can we incorporate um, not just traditional Filipino music, but indigenous and pre-Hispanic Filipino music into the music we listen to today because he noticed that during his time, the like after World War II was kind of his ethnomusicology and compositional era. He noticed that a lot of concert music performed in the Philippines and a lot of music in general revolves around Western music, um, and not really music um, dating back before Philippine colonization. So he strived to figure out ways to how to incorporate these indigenous elements into his music, and he thought the rise of the avant-garde style in Western music was kind of um, a convenient way to package these indigenous elements into a style that has begun to gain interest in Western audiences. So that reading about his research um, and compositions relating to this, that really inspired me to figure out ways about how I can do it with my own compositional voice. Um, so with my music, I've been really trying to utilize um a lot of more ideas. Sorry, let me reset. I've been trying to I've been trying to figure out more ways to incorporate these indigenous like instrumentations or ideas and philosophies without sacrificing the compositional voice that I've been trained to have because me immigrating to the Philippines at such a young age and being brought up with Western classical training, this I have been for years, I have been trained to write in a certain way, and that's how I enjoy writing music. But but learning about all of these ideas that Jose Maceda have had, and also figuring out ways to explore and learn about my Filipino heritage. That's encouraged me to figure out ways to also include these elements, such as using instrumentations that relate that can be compared to um, indigenous Filipino music, like using more percussion instruments or having instruments utilize more percussive techniques. Um, and using more sounds from nature, such as incorporating found sounds or um, just having the instruments mimic maybe like wind, the sound of the wind or sound of water and stuff like that. I've been trying to figure out different ways to incorporate these ideas without while melding it with the Western styles that I still enjoy writing.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah. I mean, another thing is that it's very personal.
Mhm.
That what you also uh, try to discover and explore, that's personal, but also I felt like there is this personal connection. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just this definitely this experimentation with melding Filipino and Western music. It's been really therapeutic to do it because it has given me a way to learn more about my heritage and my history while also kind of learning that, but also kind of like figuring out a way to talk about these ideas in a musical way. So it's been very cool to have this interesting this this sonic way to um yeah, to just sorry, to just talk and learn about these topics that I've been really wanting to dive into ever since I was a little kid.
But is there anything that you want to talk about, AJ? Anything you want to add, or
Um, I guess just in general that um not only I have been influenced, my music has definitely been influenced by my Filipino background and stuff, but I did want to talk about how really just talking to other composers and meeting other musicians has been a really inspiring thing for me. I really owe a lot of my recent compositional ideas and philosophies to a number of my composition friends actually that I've been able to meet through NYU and through festivals and stuff. Um, Specifically, there I wanted to shout out my friends Jesse Diaz, who just graduated from NYU, and Nicole Balsaro, who I met at Iceberg Institute. I find that their music together really inspired me to figure out how can we make the concert experience more immersive and authentic to these experiences that we're talking about, and that um, music and their music touches on a lot of difficult and personal subjects similar to my music and specifically the house installation. Uh, and they have found ways through their music to basically they have shown me how concert music can really truly share emotions and experiences that you just can't really just talk about. So I just wanted to highlight that for other composers that just talking and meeting other musicians and composers and hearing their philosophies and hearing what they like to compose, that can be a huge that can be a huge inspiration for your work. So make friends.
great advice.
Yeah, I especially like the idea of just reframing concert music and what it means. I think that's a really fantastic thing to think about.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been really great talking to you and getting to know you a little bit more, and I just can't wait to see the project coming together and meeting you in 2026 at Camp
Yeah.
Ground.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.